Hey everyone, just setting up the clock here. Won't take long. $20, 0 minutes. Here we go. Here we go. Hello everyone, welcome to the Shortwave radio show. We are live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I got a little different setup here. I set up my laptop kind of here. I'm going to show you guys. So I got a easy access here to all the information I need without having to play with my main laptop that I'm streaming from. So hey everybody, welcome aboard, and this is a show about radio. We talk about shortwave, about everything below 30 megahertz, roughly. Sometimes we go above, but not always. And we are live every Fridays at 2000 hours Universal Time. And we will talk about what I'm going to add in the coming 2 weeks. Starting September 11th, we have 2 shows per week instead of 1. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Hurricane Dorian and the Hurricane WatchNet that you can tune in. We're going to talk about pirate radio. I mean, it's a holiday weekend here in North America, Labor Day weekend, both Canada and US. And of course, we'll just have fun, and hopefully you enjoy the show today. We, of course, are live every Friday at 2000 hours Universal Time. We will have a I got distracted here because of a little something. Okay, we're okay. I thought something was wrong. So we will, of course, my name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America, and hope that you enjoy our live show today. So, what do we have? We have a beautiful chat room with people that are fantastic. And for those that rather, I don't have my phone with me, it seems. I guess not. I think it's charging. Oh well, doesn't matter. We can check it out here. Anyways, you can join if you want to say hi and don't know how to do it in the chat room, don't have a Gmail account because it is required to be in the chat room, or anything else, well, you know what, you can send me a little hello at officialshortwaveradio@gmail.com, and I will automatically, if you do this, go and check regularly my email so I can say hi. So officialshortwaveradio@gmail.com. Just say hello from there. I'll be happy to say hi. I'm just actually starting up the email here so that I can see the emails that will come in. Matambali in Colorado, nice to have you here. Mark Cope, nice to have you on board from Dallas, Texas. Roberto Rojas, nice to have you here. Desde Argentina. ¿Cómo está mi amigo? Hope you are well, my friend. Let me just sign into my email. Official Shortwave Radio. Here we go. And we check the Gmail, and everything's all right. So, nice to have you here from Argentina. What do we have? Mikael B, nice to have you here from Warsaw, Poland. 161BD600. Cool. Nice to have you here from Poland. Eduardo Montero, nice to have you here from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Nick Amado from Romania, nice to have you here. WOHP 1390 from Ohio. Rick, W8PRR. Really cool to have you here. Bobby Burgess, nice to have you on board from Morgan City, Louisiana. WA5107 SWL. Matt, nice to have you here from Colorado. John Pickney, nice to have you on board. He's back in Virginia after 2 weeks on the road. W3XWT. Nice to have you on board. 3 weeks on the road. That's that's the kind of time when it often feels good to be back home. Rufus Newt, nice to have you on board and back in the Laurentian Valley in Ontario. Cool. So yeah, a set screw is a blind screw. That's how I got it referred to, as a blind screw. Jerry DX, nice to have you here, my friend. And yes, CHU in the background. Manny CV, nice to have you here, my friend. JD Williamson, nice to have you on board. PLF Radio, bonjour et bienvenue de la France, comme toujours. Matt has 8 seconds delay. Keith Logan, nice to have you on board. Calvin, nice to have you here. Ray in Clayton, North Carolina, nice to have you here. Glad you are here also. Always nice to say hey. And yeah, we're going to talk about that. I got a few emails from Sheldon here, so we're going to check that out. What else do we have? Matambali in Colorado. Max Edstrong, nice to have you on board from Michigan. David Harden, nice to have you here, my friend. And pretty cool to have you here. Sheldon Harvey, bonjour, hi, ni hao, guten tag, hola. Nice to have you here from Greenfield Park, Quebec. Jay Jolie, nice to have you here, my friend, with my friend Jean-Marc. I guess we'll see each other on Sunday as usual with a couple of beers and some funny stories and laughter like we always have. It's always a fun evening on Sunday evenings, having a beer with you, my friend. And thanks for the nice, my favorite nerd friend. Oh man. Keith Logan, nice to have you here. Gary Thornton, nice to have you here. NDRC, nice to have you on board. Thanks, Matt. Keegan, X80Xer, nice to have you on board from Northwest Arkansas. NL13851, nice to have you on board from the Netherlands. Sidvik, nice to have you here. Rob, nice to have you on board from Phoenix, Arizona. NDK2 says there was a pirate called Sousa Station that was usually active around holidays, especially more patriotic teen ones, but I haven't heard it in a long time. Yeah, that rings a bell. That rings a bell. Eric Cottrell, bonjour. Nice to have you on board. It's always nice to have you here, and it's always nice to meet up, like at the CADX barbecue, of course, in person. Always a good time there. Hi, Brawler. Nice to have you here, my friend. Ruska Wierzutnia Druz, something like that. Sorry. Nice to have you, Ruska, from Poland. Nice to have you on board. Hey, William Helms. Nice to have you here from Florida. You guys are going to get pounded by that hurricane. Yes, Eric, CHU in the background. Mickey Dalmage, nice to have you here. Bonjour. Nice to have you on board, my friend. And the RC says W5VND is active down on Ascension Islands as ZD8SC. Steve, I know from personal experience that the polyps are like. Oh, cool. Cool. Nice to check that out. I'm going to check out, you know what, I'm going to actually start the DX Fun Cluster thing, because DX Fun Cluster is going to be interesting to monitor in search of any AM radio unusual stations that could be of interest on the HF bands. We'll keep that open and check out a few stations. Israel apparently on 14177. Maybe I should check that out. So we'll be looking at that. And so we're going to check that out. Here we go. David Arden says, I thought of you at the grocery store. I bought some cherries for my wife. Found out that they were grown in Canada. Nice red maple leaf on the package. Oh, cool. This is a time of year where we buy a lot of the cherries. Are really, really good. They're just perfect. Just perfect. Ciro Saito, nice to have you here from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Mickey Dolmage is back in Sherwood Park, where it is raining, of course. Yeah, you had a lot of rain and bad weather there. Here it's another very nice day, like about, close to 80 Fahrenheit today. And just a beautiful day. We're supposed to have a lot of rain and winds maybe around September 6th or 7th due to Hurricane Dorian that will actually move up the coast after it hits Florida, apparently. So, but it's still a little far off for us. Keith Logan, what are you doing for Labor Day weekend? Anything fun? Radio and the usual Sunday, going out, going to the International Radio Report, of course, spending the afternoon downtown Montreal, and ending with Mr. J. Jolie in the chat, where we usually have a few beers, quite a lot of laughs, and have a great Sunday evening. Most of the time it's always fun, and with a friend of ours that is a bartender there, his name is Dean, so we always have a lot of fun. It's always cool. So that's pretty much it. On Monday, YouTubers don't have any holidays. YouTubers are usually more of Monday I'll be back at doing videos and stuff. It's like when I was working as a tech guy. When you have your own business and your own company, you know what? Holidays are something that doesn't exist in your vocabulary or something. But I probably need to take some time off. I think I have a short fuse because I just work too much in different things. And then again, some people are, pushing me to my limits at some point. Keegan is getting reception with his Ethan Grundig Edition Field BT radio. You seem to like that radio quite a lot, Keegan. Mad Radio DXer, nice to have you here, my friend. Matt, MDK2 just worked Belgium on 17 meters FT8. Oh wow, 17 meters open to Europe. Pretty cool. I like 17 meters. It's one of the bands where I'd say most of the time it's the band where I hear some of the best DX, honestly. Well, let's check that out. 14253. There's a Brazilian apparently. 14253. There's something weak, but there's a ZY40ZT in Brazil on 14253 upper sideband. If you guys want to try that out, he's contacted a KE1 station, so that's why I tried it. Usually when KE1, KE1, KE2, K3, they often are also making it here. So nice to have you here. John Pigney says, comment about the ICOM R71A. If buying, make sure you get the one with the PBT. ICOM originally used a circuit that was too close to one patented by Collins, who sued. Settlement included deletion. Oh, really? I did not know that. The only thing I knew about the ICOM R71A was that the battery, when it dies, erases the firmware, and it was a big problem. And one of those things that you're thinking, why the hell did they do it like that? JD Williamson from the Netherlands, VE3KRP, Fast Eddie, nice to have you on board from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Eric in Boston, Massachusetts area, I can usually get one of the CHU frequencies better than WWV. Today's figures, nice to have you on board from Torrid, Spain. So nice to have you here. Jerry says, I was thinking you should do your Wednesday show at 8 or 11 a.m. You will get very few watching from Europe at 8 p.m. Yeah, but the idea behind my, I'm going to talk about it. I'm just going to go down the list a little bit. We're going to talk about it, and I'll give you my, I get the drift of what you're saying, but well, you know, there are things we're going to try for sure. Trustin Patty, nice to have you here from Newfoundland, Canada. Rick Sada, nice to have you here, my friend. Pretty cool. Timothy Cairns, nice to have you here. And N6A are the bands today. Well, 20 meters open. There's quite a few signals I see here on 20 meters. And the bands seem to be not too bad, actually. Sid Vic is from Gander, Newfoundland, Canada. Thanks to PLF Radio for sharing one of the clusters for amateur radio. India 101, nice to have you on board. Chris Bradis, nice to have you on board from North Fort Myers, Florida. And yeah, stay safe, my friend. I know it's going to be, it looks to be a really big one, in Florida with Hurricane Dorian. As we're on the subject, I'm going to take time to talk about one thing that is the Hurricane WatchNet. So the Hurricane WatchNet is an amateur radio net that is activated when there's some activity in form of hurricanes or tropical storm that would or could hit land. So the Hurricane WatchNet will be activated tomorrow, August 31st at 2100 UTC. So it's not active right now, and it's not going to be active until tomorrow. But tomorrow they're going to start the net at 21 hours UTC. The frequencies they use, 14325 is daytime, 7268 is nighttime. So 14325 upper sideband or 7268 lower sideband. That is where you will hear the Hurricane WatchNet. So like I said, it does state on their page that they are going to be active starting 21 UTC tomorrow, Saturday. And they will be active for as long as needed for all sorts of information. There you will get updates to what the situation, weather updates for hurricane. You can get traffic. It's one of the nets where you can get some actually interesting traffic and reports from people that are in the affected area. So note those frequencies. Note that it's going to start tomorrow at 2100 hours universal time, and it's going to go on as long as it has to. There's a website that you can check out, which is the Hurricane WatchNet website. You can go there and check it out. It's hwn.org, hwn.org, and PLF Radio has just shared it. There they will talk about activation and where the net is. Often it will tell you the frequency. Like I said, usually daytime it's 20 meters, 14325. Nighttime is 40 meters, 7268 lower sideband. So stay safe, my friend Chris. I hope that you have everything ready for the arrival of that pretty big hurricane. I believe one of the big ones one of the bigger ones to hit Florida in a little while now. Kimberly, K6YYL, nice to have you here from California. Ron Sear, nice to have you here, my friend Ron. Always nice to have you on board. William Helms says, we are west of landfall, confident we'll ride it out, but no problem. Hopefully. Eric says, nice day in the Boston area. Unfortunately, the hurricane may stay around Florida for several days. Yeah, that's what they were saying, is that it's going to move really slowly. So the hurricane is going to stay around Florida a lot. So you guys are going to have an amazing amount of rain, which is, I mean, the wind is, of course, going to be pretty intense. if it reaches category 4, let me say. But the rain, the amount of rain, that's probably what is going to be the most amazing for you guys there, because of the slow movement of the storm. So hopefully you guys are not going to have too much of a problem. I'll be monitoring WRMI's frequency on from Okeechobee, Florida. So this weekend at some point, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, if you guys notice that a lot of the WRMI frequencies are off, don't be surprised with the hurricane hitting Florida. A lot of those frequencies will probably be off, and maybe your favorite relays won't be on for a few days. Last time they were hit by a hurricane, they had several frequencies that were off, and they did go out of what they do at WRMI is run for as long as they can. They have generators and all this stuff, but they just run it as long as they can, and as long as they have power. They don't have enough generation of power to actually power up Okeechobee's transmitters, all of them. So as long as there's power, usually they're on, but there could be damage. There could be especially all the rain, flooding. So if you see WRMI disappear at some point in the next few days, it could be because of that. Let's hope that everything isn't going to be too bad, honestly, for that. Terry Cook, nice to have you here. KF7BQ in Western Montana. Yeah, I'm pretty sure with all the news stuff, pretty sure that you will have a lot of work there, Chris. But yeah, hope you can prepare and be ready. David Green, nice to have you on board. All is well in Iowa. School just started here, so Spectrum is host to school buses and lunch ladies for another school year. Here too, I was looking, there's a couple of schools not far from where I live, and I was going to, it always brings me a little nostalgic, because the college, Collège de Rosemont, where I went to college when I was young, isn't far from here. And sometimes when I take a walk, I'll walk by there. I gotta say, this time of year, September, end of August and early September, kind of brings me back in a certain nostalgia of when I was young, and you would start school and the new classes and all the courses and stuff. It's kind of every year kind of hits me a little bit. I feel like when I went to school when I was young, always brings back a little bit of memories there. Levi Nathan, nice to have you. Shalom, my friend, from Israel. 4Z1008 SWL. Nice to have you here from Israel, as usual. Keegan says, yeah, it's a good radio, the 800 Field Edition. Cool. With RDS. John Pickney says, 17 is fun band when mobile. 73, Ionut Ciclitaru. Nice to have you here. Dr. Sisop, nice to have you here. Manrita the Xer says, we have been getting e-skip in Europe for the past few days. First time since end of July, normally when the season ends. Has the e-skip reactivated in your area as well? I've checked several times this week. I'm going to check right now, just for the fun of it. Really nothing happening on the Super Bowl channels I see. I check almost every day, honestly. And, it's interesting. I was wondering what the CW was, but I'm on 14100, the network of IARU beacons. So I've been hearing some of the beacons on 14100. Maybe we could talk about that a little bit, which is kind of an interesting thing to check out, and talk of the apps also. So I checked for sporadic e-skip pretty much all week, almost every day. Did not really notice any activity. So it's one of the things, because somebody was telling me the other day, why do you check that even if the season is over? And it's like, the problem with shortwave is not fixed in mud. It's not fixed in stone. It's something that changes. So Sportic E, yes, the height of the season is usually around June, July, when we're close to the solstice. There's some around Christmas, but it can happen anytime, and you can have Sportic E skip happening any day of the year if the conditions are right. So I haven't had any E skip in a little while now. I noticed Y04SIA from Romania. Cool, nice to have you here from Romania, my friend. Best 73 to you too. Trustin Patty says 24 here in Western Newfoundland. Cool. Dan Trainer, nice to have you here, my friend. As Rufus Newt says, we talked about the Hurricane WatchNet goes active tomorrow, August 31st at 21 UTC. Randy in Riverside, California, KN6BZG. Nice to have you here, as always. McGlone, nice to have you on board. Jay Jolie says, I need a vacation in Costa Rica. That is something you know what? Since you talked to me about that, that is something that I did kind of think about. I'll have to do a live show from Costa Rica, though. And maybe you could show your face and say hi to everybody. So everybody knows who you are. Dr. Sisop, nice to have you on board from Savannah, Georgia. He's escaping the hurricane. So, cool. So, you never know when it can happen, honestly. Yeah, Dorian is now Category 3 hurricane. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Miami and the Keys are evacuating tomorrow morning, and then Palm Beach and Tampa areas. Wow. Crazy. Crazy. Radio Wave Maniac from Poland. Nice to have you here, my friend. Psycho Fu, nice to have you here. Did anyone hear about the new ICOM IC705? Anybody have news about that? Matt Umbali is getting WWV at 25 megahertz from time to time. Trustin Patty says, just got the portable shortwave antenna kit. It's true what they say. You get what you pay for. Don't seem to working very well, but you got to laugh. Fastload got the cheap loop, and he was testing it the other day. It seems to perform interesting. It seems to perform well. So we'll have to do some tests with my W6 LVP loop for sure. For sure. Chris Freda is going to try to be safe. I'm working at the station, but at least we'll be on the west side of the hurricane. I still have plenty of rain and wind. Dr. Sisab 9395 jammed here again. 7780 is better. I'm expecting WRMI to go off the air. Yeah, I'm pretty much expecting if it goes bad that they will also go off the air for sure. What else do we have? John Pickney, there was an ICOM authorized version called the R71HP sold by the long defunct Store Electronic Equipments Bank. Better dynamic range, AGC timing change, bringing up on medium wave, better filters, and more. Yeah, I've seen. I was looking at the different pictures of the ICOM ICR 71A. Noticed all the different versions, which was kind of interesting. So, Charles Williams, checking in from San Diego. Nice to have you on board. Just heard a ham from Texas and a ham from Louisiana on 20 meters. Both signals are strong. Propagation seems good on that band. Yeah, I got a few things. Let's go back to 20 meters. I was looking at a few signals there a little earlier. Check that out. See if we get some interesting stuff. But there's some activity for sure on 14280, some station in Spanish. Something on 14250 or 249.9. Dan805, nice to have you on board. So says 7268 lower sideband, some chatter. It's not technically activated here because the Hurricane WatchNet website says it's not active at this time, so probably some ham stalking or chatting away on 7268. Joe Sabourin, nice to have you on board. Happy long weekend, absolutely. And nice to have you here, Joe. Dr. Sisop says all Florida airports are closing 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Only emergency planes will be allowed. I just heard the announcement. So lots of stuff happening there for sure. My favorite time to DX FM station is usually in meteor showers. Did you try your some DXing of FM stations during the Perseids in early August? Keegan says DXer in South Florida said can't go north, period. Was told by his brother near Ocala no gas. Yeah, I guess everybody's jumping on getting gas and getting ready for the storm. Madrid DXer is Angel, and I agree, E-skip can happen even in the middle of winter. Absolutely, absolutely. Yep, that's the reason for the sporadic VE3 KRP. Absolutely. John Pickney says, yes, I have a R71HP with 500 Hz CW, 2.1 kHz SSB, and 4 kHz AM filtering. An awesome receiver. Connecting a Sony AN1 antenna to it caused a trip back to ICOM when they were still fixing them. Oh, really? Wow. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. Has anybody uses an enhanced DSP or some kind of sound processing? The only thing that okay, we gotta be fair here. When we use an RSB1, we do have some form of DSP in here because it is, after all, a receiver that is computer controlled. The Yaesu FT450 is DSP, and it's kind of interesting. It makes the sound a little weird. So, but it's kind of interesting. Kimberly's going camping. Cool. Have fun. Hope you're gonna enjoy your time there for the weekend. Take care, Matt, and stay safe. See you soon. Next show, of course, next week. We'll be in September next week. That is crazy times. What else do we have? So everybody in Florida, stay safe. Yes. Jerry Ball, nice to have you on board, my friend, Jerry. Zachary Antle, hey man, how are you, my friend? Raman Ortiz, nice to have you here. Just got a realistic DX400, a yard sale for $3. The only thing missing is the telescopic antenna. Wow, $3, can't go wrong. That is fun. I would like to have a DX400 for $3. Yes, I'm on the air. Thanks to this beautiful sign from Brian Penny, which was a nice gift at CIDX Barbecue. Jerry Ball is in Prescott, Arizona. Keegan says, DXer in South Florida said earlier, if there is anything positive in this is finally a time for AM radio to shine. 610 kilohertz WIOD to finally get ratings, maybe. PLF Radio, have you received Hurricane WatchNet in the past at your location? Yes, many times. Many times. Depends on propagation, but many times. Both on 14325, like mid-afternoon, you know, maybe around 18, 19 UT here. And 7268 at night often is not bad at all also. But there are many times during hurricanes I did get the hurricane watching it, absolutely. Jerry Ball says Milcom 1970 here. Nice to have you here, my friend. Kevin Y, nice to have you on board. Anybody use an MFJ active antenna? Lee Burkett, I'm waiting for my Radio Shack scanner to be repaired. It'll be okay Tuesday. I'm using my Sony ICF receiver. Cool. Cool. That's fun, Kimberly. Always great to be in our happy place, especially if you bring radios. Are you allowed to bring radios at least? A very quiet location, hopefully. Jerry Ball says, enjoyed your review of the ICOM R71A. Love mine. It is a nice radio. I'd have one that would be at a correct price. I'd love to have one. Glenn Britton, nice to have you on board, my friend from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Now that we are here, I will talk about a little something. For those that don't know, starting Wednesday, September 11th, I will be having 2 radio shows a week. So we're moving on from, we'll have the regular Friday show, 20 hours UTC, and we will add to that a Wednesday show at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 0 hours Universal Time. Technically, it's 0 hours Thursday, but it's Wednesday night North America time. So on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, that's 000 UT, we will be live starting Wednesday, September 11th. Is it going to stay? Am I going to be there every week? It'll depend on how things go. That show will be different from the one we have here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have subjects that I want to talk about. So that one will be driven by a very specific subject every week, where this one here is more like a relax, let's have fun, just tuning the bands and whatever is happening show. And this will stay like this. But by adding the Wednesday show, we'll be adding, of course, a specific show where I want to talk about some specific subjects so that maybe newbies in the hobby might learn more about our hobby. We'll talk about anything that has to do with our hobby that when we start we just don't know. We have no idea what it's all about. I always say and always talk about this, that one of the things that I always say about the hobby when I started is I didn't know anything. You just start and you have no idea. And for me, back in 1982, when I had my first real radio, I had no idea. I remember going to the library. I lived really close to the library, and I would go there and see if they had radio books. And sure, there was some general radio books and stuff like that, but there wasn't anything dedicated to shortwave. I got to thank once again the little booklet that came with the Realistic DX100, because it was just a few pages, but few pages of amazing information. It told me that what shortwave was about. It gave me frequency ranges with types of communications you can listen to. It explained amateur radio bands and international broadcast bands. It explained QSL cards. I remember the first time I wrote for a QSL card, being all hyped up and like, oh man, I just sent my first letter to a station, and waiting for the reply. And someday in the mailbox, there's a nice big letter. The first station I wrote to for a QSL was WIFR, and I was so happy to see that letter in the mailbox. And and the QSL card that came with it. And then I started with just one, and I thought I'm gonna write one, and I'm gonna wait to see if it works, because I was skeptical. I was a teen, and it's like, really, they'll answer back. I wasn't sure. It's like, yeah, I'll write to one, and I'll see if I actually have a reply, and we'll see. And I don't know, it didn't take that long. I think it took like 2 or 3 weeks, back and forth. And one day, come back from school, and on my desk, next to my radio, I still remember, a nice big envelope from WIFR with schedules, which I found interesting. And I would try the frequencies and the times. It was like, there was something fun about trying that. It's like, oh, they are broadcasting on that frequency at that time. I got to try it, Or they were broadcasting at different areas, target areas. But still, I had to try it. And some were successful. Some were like, oh, okay, that one I don't get, And from there, I started writing to, another station and another station. And I just kept writing. I mean, I would write, some evenings I would write probably 10 reception reports at least. And the next day, going to school, I would pass by a mailbox. I would drop 10 letters in the mailbox and would wait for, whatever comes back. And that was a lot of fun. And there were 2 periods when I was of time when I was in school. So at that time I'm 14 years old. So I got school vacation in the summertime. For me, school vacation meant hanging out outside with my friends, doing some shortwave radio. But and of course there's the school period where you go to school, and the 2 different aspects of that was, going to school meant, when school ended, the first thing that I was thinking of is going home to see if I had letters from stations, and how many. Some days it would be like 3, 4, 5 letters, and some days, I remember some days you were like bummed out, you were like depressed because, oh, I got no letters today. Oh, that's sad. No letters today. Oh, and others who were like, because of course it would always come in batches, probably because of the way that the postal service works with international mail, And so I would like have a day or 2 of tons of letters, then 2 or 3 days with nothing, and I was like, oh, okay, that's sad. I want to have letters every day, And so I would that would be the school year, and the summertime. Well, it was like, the mailman would always pass by around 10 a.m. So like, when we would get to like 10 a.m., I was listening to the radio and always looking out the window to see if I see the postman coming, because it was like, oh man, maybe he's got some letters for me, And then I would see him pass by. Sometimes he would pass by and just not stop in my house, and it was like, oh, bummer, no letters today. And sometimes he would stop, and I was like, oh, maybe he got something, and he'd go down, and and that was a different time. And I remember one of the things I would do a lot was write to a lot of stations in April and May and June, more than usual. Why? Because I knew it would give me a bigger amount of letters in the summertime, when I was like, just relaxing at home and doing nothing, inviting I would go out with my friends, and I had my friend Jean-Pierre, which had a DX100 also. We would hang out together and tune certain shortwave stations. Some of the best souvenirs I got of shortwave and summertime as a teenager, maybe 14 years old. I was maybe 14 years old at the time. 1983, spending a big chunk of my summer with my friend and listening to stations and writing reception reports together. which was very fun because not a lot of us can do that. Most of us had nobody, and if it wasn't for him, I would have done my hobby alone, pretty much. Like most of you probably did your hobby alone, especially if you started when you were young. You probably did it alone. You listened to the stations, and you had no friends that would do that. So it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna go invite my friends that don't care about radio and just find that this is static. And at least I had that because he's still one of my best friends. I haven't seen him in a long time. I need to call him. It reminds me of that. But when he saw my DX100, he bugged his dad so that he could get one, and he got one at Christmas. And so from there, that year, that summer, we would just do radio and be together doing reception reports, going to the post office together to buy stamps, having the lady at the post office look at us and say, okay, I gotta ask the question. You guys are here every week buying stamps for international. What are you doing? And I remember we explained to her, and the next time that we went there, I brought some letters and QSL cards. And while I was buying the stamps, I was showing her, this is what we do and this is what we get. And she was amazed, and she was like, oh, this is so much fun. You guys are getting correspondence from all over the world, And I remember she's being like, really? You got a card from the USSR? There's, back in the Cold War days, there was this thinking that, well, if you write a communist country of some sort, they're not going to answer back. Of course they answered back. They were actually some of the best. They would send you tons of things. They would actually have so many things to send you back. That was fun. And so anyways, the digression to the Wednesday show is that we are going to try to bring all of that information that I didn't have when I was young, but now that we can actually give out. We can actually now say, look, we talk about this. This is how we do it. Talk about specific subjects and things in our hobby so that everybody learns. And you know what? Even if you've been listening and doing this for 30 years or 40 years, I can tell you one thing. You're still going to learn something in there. I learn all the time. I learn stuff regularly. And I mean, I've been doing it for 37 years now, in a pretty intense way. And I still learn all the time. And I think this is it's going to be fun for that. Now, why did I choose 8 p.m. Eastern? Because the 20 UTC Friday obviously is good for Europe. You guys are in your evening, even though Eastern Europe is a little later. It's still, Europe, it's still a nice time. And you guys in Europe can watch, you're in your evening. Most of you that will have, daytime jobs and stuff like that can join in. And so North America is okay. Some of you can join in. A lot of you cannot, because a lot of you will, might be working. The West Coast, when I start at 20 UT, it's 4 p.m. Eastern. It's only 1 p.m. on the West Coast. That also brings another thing. We tune the bands when we actually do the show. And one of the problems tuning the bands at this time, especially in the summer, in the winter time, it isn't too bad. But in the summertime, we have this kind of a dead zone of shortwave, where especially on the West Coast, you guys can't tune that many signals because you're really pretty much midday, and a lot of what I hear here will not make it over there. So I chose that time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 0 UT, to favor North America. And to favor North America in the evening, because there'll be 5 p.m. on the West Coast. A lot of you will have, ended your work day, We'll be heading back home on the West Coast, and the Eastern time zone will be in the kind of the prime of the listening experience. I don't know how long these shows are going to be. They're going to have and obey the same rules that I have right now, which is no time limit. That means, yeah, there might be a show like we did once at 5 hours and 30 minutes, and there might be a show, only an hour and a half. So, no time limits, no minimum and no maximum. So, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see. We'll reach different people. I've had a few people from like India and India, Pakistan, and some of the Asian countries saying, that's good because here it's like morning. In India, it's very early morning, but I've got a little bit of feedback of people saying, it's actually a better time for us over there at 0 UT than it is for your 20 UT show. So anyways, starting Wednesday, September 11th, 20 hours Eastern time, or 8 p.m. Eastern time, 0 UTC. We are going to have a weekly Wednesday night live show. And of course, we keep the Friday show at 20 UT. As usual, this one will be, of course, always staying here. So that's coming up, starting Wednesday, September 11th. So hope that you guys enjoy that, and that we'll have a lot of fun with these shows. Okay, let's continue. I got far back in the chat now. PLF Radio, where the transmitter of Hurricane WatchNet are located? Well, they're in the USA because these are amateur radio stations. So some of them are in the affected area. It depends on the stations that are joining in, but they are in the United States for most of them. There are some stations from, that might be in affected areas like in the Atlantic or the Caribbean Sea. Kind of scattered everywhere. What else do we have? What else do we have? Juan amigo, ¿cómo está from Barcelona? Nice to have you here, my friend. Dr. Sysops has got his Grundig Ethon satellite radio and picking up WWV on 25 megahertz. Cool. Andy Coley, nice to have you here, my friend. Pretty cool. Nice to have you on board. What else do we have? Yeah, I know at Calvin, in Europe, most of you will be sleeping in that time frame. Dr. Sisop picking up 5025, some Spanish station. That's probably Radio Rebelde from Cuba. Milt Lester, nice to have you here. KZ4AAA in Florida. Hope that you stay safe as the hurricane is coming closer. Tim Odell, what is this hobby? Are you ham operating or just listening? In my case, I'm just listening for now. I'm to get my ham license, but there's a lot of amateur radio operators that also are transmitting in this hobby. And shortwave listening is all about listening to stations from all over the world, of all kinds. What else do we have? Justin Petty says, quick questions, guys. Can someone point me to a good basic shortwave antenna kit on eBay or Amazon? 40 to 50 Canadian. Have you tried the to at least put just a wire antenna outside just to see? It's the cheapest thing that you can do, and sometimes it's enough to really get better reception. Brian Penny, nice to have you here. Nice to have you on board. From Cape Cod, Massachusetts. He says he can't believe he allowed yard work to interfere with the show. Where is Paul? Paul is working on the antennas, yeah. Paul is in the living room in his favorite chair. I don't know, he might actually be coming by. Trustin Patty says, Pate says, Trustin Pate, I would pronounce it like that. I say Patty, but it's not Patty, Pate. Probably more than Pate. Looking forward to your second show. Your channel is a great place to learn. Only been into shortwave radio for a little over a year. Always something new to learn. Cool. And the live show is going to be fun for that. For sure. Simon Templar, nice to have you here. Happy Friday. Coaster 2301, nice to have you here. Have you tried out Amsphere? It's a simulated amateur radio program. Amsphere 4 simulated propagation and such. It's not really RF, but can be fun. I actually have an account on Amsphere and did play with it a little bit. I haven't done anything in a very, very long time. But I got an email, I think it was this week, where they were mentioning some new features, and it made me think about it and say, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Oh man. What else do we have? We will radio on, absolutely, Jerry. Mickey Delmage, Mickey Delmage. I'm back to the French pronunciation. In the summer of '73, I was on a 2-week course to learn how to sail boats. On my return, I had a stack a foot high with cards, letters, and pennants. That summer, I sailed 50 countries. What memories! Oh man, that reminds me of my my summers. You know, I remember. You know, sometimes they would have the different postman, and you would pass, like, you know, later in the day. And I remember sometimes going out and, you know, playing with my friends, and we'd play baseball and frisbee. I like to play frisbee with a lot with my friends. That was kind of something I enjoyed. Playing tennis also in the summer times. And sometimes, you know, the mailman I thought was, you know, already passed, but you get to a point where, and there's a spider on the camera. That's interesting. So, you know, it's I'd come back, you know, late afternoon, and it's like, oh, I got letters. Look at that. This is so cool. And you know, the magic of opening these envelopes full of stuff and looking at every little detail and everything in there. Getting these huge envelopes sometimes with documentation, it was just so crazy, so much fun, so much fun. What else do we have? Stephen Wood, nice to have you on board. E-skip from earlier this week, Tuesday at 88.7 WSCW Sanford, Maine. 107.5 WFN Cape Brunswick, Maine. Both heard here in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, over very strong local stations at approximately 0630. Wow, nice. Jason Francis, nice to have you on board. Is the XH Data D808 still your top recommendation in its class? I am into shortwave and interested in airband since I live very close to an airport. Totally. I totally tell you that by that. You'll be happy and you'll really have fun. I can tell you that. Oh, really, Simon? I was thinking about you the other day. I was wondering why what was happening, and I wanted to send you an email because it was very long. So just make sure the address is okay. I don't know why did they tell you the reason why the parcel came back? It's kind of weird. DE1DJK, nice to have you on board from Germany. Nice to have you here. Rufus Newt, can always learn every day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mad Raider DXer also recommending the D808. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's pretty good. Pretty good. No, you never stop learning. That absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Sisop, do a WWV and a CHU check. So let's start with CHU. 3330. So CHU 3330. $78.50 as nothing. 14670 as nothing. WWV, let's start at 25 megahertz. Nothing. Nothing on 20. WWV is not too bad on 50 megahertz actually. A little noisy, but it's there. It's with the ID. So 50 megahertz definitely the best. Probably for WWV. There's actually a fly on the TV. So 15 megahertz, 10 megahertz. Hearing 10 megahertz also. Not too bad. And 5 is not there, and I won't even try 2.5 because it's not there for sure. Let's try RWM in Moscow on 14996 CW. $9996. Not hearing RWM Moscow, not yet. I did hear the buzzer 4625 a few times this week. Oh, absolutely, PLF Radio. The time that I will be doing the show will be great for both North and South America. You guys in Brazil are going to be in a prime time for the live show also. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a few more South American countries watching and showing up for the show. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting also to see the difference in propagation. Psycho Fu says Oregon Coast here. John, KJ7ISU. Cool. So, what else do we have? The UNDJK Wednesday show not ideal for Europe, so Fridays are much better for our part. Yeah, that's why Wednesdays will be more like Asia and North America, South America, and the Friday show will be the best for you guys in Europe. It's trying different things, different times. I think it's going to be interesting. Jason Francis, great. I'm still at work on the Friday show, so Wednesday is perfect, so I can hear it live. Cool. That's cool. There's going to be an update soon for Hurricane Dorian. Yeah, probably at 21 UT. F4 IDL, good evening. Nice to have you on board from France. What else do we have? David Arden says from ARRL website, Florida's Division of Emergency Management has notified the state's amateur radio emergency services groups that it's soliciting in-state amateur radio volunteers. Once again, showing us that the amateur radio community is very important in times of of hurricanes and all sorts of things. So there's a so thanks Sheldon for passing this along. FRS 39th anniversary next Sunday. Dear FRS friends, just check it out here. A bit late, but still in time. Next Sunday, FRS Holland hopes to celebrate its 39th anniversary. Programming on 7700 and 5810 will commence at 1652 UTC. So that's going to be interesting. And hope that the conditions will be better than the July 28th show. So 7700-5810 Sunday 1652 UTC. They hope to be heard. It says next Sunday. I would guess this is this coming Sunday, September 1st. And for those that were wondering, thanks again, Sheldon, for the email. There has been concern, understandably, in the amateur community over a proposal made by France to study reallocation of the 144 to 146 megahertz to aeronautical navigation services at a World Radio Communications Conference, likely in 2023. If you remember, guys, we were talking about the possibility of losing part of the 2-meter band. This is to accommodate the growing number of aircraft employing new navigation tracking and communication aids. So at the meeting of the conference preparatory group of the Council Européen des Postes et Radiocommunications, CEPT, which concluded on August 30th in Ankara, Turkey, France modified its proposal that the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, study several frequency segments for sharing with aeronautical mobile service and withdrew the 144 to 146 megahertz segment from the proposal. This welcome development was the result of an energetic and professional representation by delegates from the International Amateur Radio Union. So this is cool. That means that 2-meter band is not going to be in danger, because we had talked about that, and there was a definite danger of losing part of the 2-meter band because of that proposal. Well, they withdrew now, so no more danger of that happening. So cheers, guys. I think that's good news. It was, I never thought that would pass, honestly, but you know, you never know. Page Master, nice to have you here from Moore, Oklahoma. KC5VOY, WA5136WL. Been operating my Radio Shack DX394, which came in today. Now I have 5 digital and 5 analog receivers. Cool. D1DJK, 33 Celsius in Germany. Wow, that's hot. Lee Burkett, I'll try to catch the midweek show, Jill. Well, probably my eyelids open. So, Tristan Pate. Been using a long wire on my window, just looking to move things up, new level, and try to improve. Yeah, one thing you can do to improve it, if you just have the wire, like, you know, from the window and that's it, is maybe taking that same wire, putting it further away from your home, and having some kind of shielded cable bringing it in your home that would actually shield the noise that might come from your home place. That would be still a step up, and still a very inexpensive thing to do to improve reception. Johnny the Xer, nice to have you on board. W3JMC. Pretty cool. What else do we have? Bob T, nice to have you on board from Northeast Ohio. Glad to hear that you will be adding a broadcast on Wednesdays. I like the time as well. Cool. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a different thing. And I think it's going to be interesting to bring all of that, honestly, together and have a specific subject. Is going to be fun also. You know. Nissan Greenwich, nice to have you on board from Dublin, Ireland. Pretty cool. Andrea the Xer says, with your new mag loop, can you try DXing some of the medium wave band? Do you get less noise on medium wave now compared to the sloper? I can't, because of very, very strong medium wave stations. When I ordered, they Larry, that W6 LVP, came back to me and said, you've got some really strong medium wave and FM stations where you live. You need to add some filters. So I got an high pass and a low pass filter, which means my medium wave band is totally crappy on the loop because it is very, very, very attenuated due to that filter. What I would have enjoyed is, and maybe I should send send him a suggestion, being able to switch off the filters would have been a nice thing. So I can't DX. I mean, even the strongest station barely make it halfway up in the S meter on a medium wave. So I can't, and it's sad because I get such amazing reception on 160 meters that I'm sure that antenna probably kicks ass on medium wave. I'm sure it's amazingly good. So, you know. Yeah, probably. It's been going around. And it's actually bugging me. I see it going around like everywhere. The fly in my room, Mad Radio DXer. It's just making me nuts. Nothing like a fly to drive you nuts. So I will open beer number 2, which will be a Raftman. And here we go. Let's pour this over here. I still have my, I forgot, but Mickey Delmench had brought me this one, the traditional lager. I keep that for next show. I gotta remember to take it. So here we go. Raftman, 5.5%, which is the same as the other one I just had before, which was a peach IPA. Cheers. Shady Pyro 90, nice to have you on board. David in Barcelona, Spain. EA3IEK. Nice to have you on board, my friend. PLF radio, ham radio was important. For example, during the earthquake in Nepal in 2015, there were frequencies allocated for emergency. It's always very important, and that's the thing that is sad about the about people not realizing how amateur radio is an important part of, you know, emergency services, and it's something that we always have to remember, that we do have we do need you know, all of that to stay active. Here, our best example that will always be is when we had the famous ice storm of 1998. I mean, amateur radio was very, very important. Very, very important. And lots of the communications that couldn't be done were actually done on thanks, all the important stuff was relayed thanks to the amateur radio community. On 14292.5, 14292.5, you got 9 Alpha 3 Golf Zulu India, 9 Alpha 3 Golf Zulu India in Croatia. I'm actually receiving it here. 14292.5. Hey, I caught. If I would have squeezed, I would have caught the fly. That was quick. Man, it's annoying. So 14292.5, I hear him quite well from Croatia. Once again, the call sign is 9 Alpha 3 Golf Zulu India. 14292.5 upper sideband, 20 meters. So 20 meters is well open to Europe, from what I see here. Pretty nice. Jerry DX says, still waiting for the local D-Star repeater go back online. Can get better reception than D-Star during a hurricane. Been listening mostly DMR and HF hams instead. Will you listen to that on your R30, Jerry? Kimberly's parents celebrated 57th wedding anniversary last Monday. Wow, congratulations. Amazing. That's amazing. John Pickney says in Virginia, state and local governments have a very anti-ham radio attitude. Remember that Virginia is a commonwealth, not a state when it comes to government philosophy. Man, pretty crazy. Terry Cook will have to multitask. Andy Coley says September 7th and 8th is the UK field, 1300 UTC, this Saturday till 13 UT on Sunday. F4IDL says, I don't know somewhere else in France, but we worked on our repeater this last weekend and we heard a lot more traffic than usual. Huh. Yeah, still 2 meter for hams. Absolutely, that's great news. Shortwave Gazer, nice to have you here from New Jersey. Pretty cool. That is possible at 4IDL. You know, it's not. There's nothing like suddenly finding out that what you've taken for granted all your life might be gone suddenly. You know, that makes you reflect upon what we have. And you know, I talked about it when we had that 2 meter thing, the possibility of the 2 meter band being cut off. And I remember, and we gotta remember, guys, that you can't take that for granted. You cannot take for granted that what you have will always be there. You got to fight for it. And especially today with the governments selling radio frequencies, which I still can't understand the concept. You know, maybe some big powerful company could be interested in, oh, I'll give you $10 billion for 2 meters because we're going to do some stuff on that frequency range, and next day you know it's gone, you know. Got to be careful with that. Okay, let's go down. Try to. Max S. Strong says, great news on the Wednesday shows. Terry Cook Hamstead is looking at leasing time on a decaying geosync satellite. Oh, really? Interesting. For IDL, Wednesday will be cool. It will cut out the weekend too. It will help me on hard work weeks. The only problem is going to be late. It's 0 UT, 8 p.m. Eastern. Middle of the night in Pagemaster, let Paul handle the fly. Oh yeah, if you would be here, it'd be running all over the place. I mean, he's like crazy. I remember, funny story, Pagemaster, is when I purchased my big screen TV in the living room, the first day that I have my big screen TV, there's a fly in the living room and Paul is running all over the place trying to get it. And the fly stops on the TV screen and Paul just smacks the TV screen like real hard. I even saw the TV move. It was like, whoa, what are you doing? It's a brand new TV. And I think he had the fly back then. I still see it. It's like running here. It's like it's making me nuts. It's so funny because when I did this, I actually had it in my hand. It's crazy. I was like, wow, reflex. D1 DJK, standard beer in Germany, 5%. Jot picnic, get an electric fly water. Make the bugs smoke and glow as they die. Fish cough. Nice to have you here. Any beers, Frank? Franziskaner Dunkel. Main internet. You know, I need to go to the liquor store. They have an interesting choice of very unusual beers that I need to check out. There's also a place not far from here that is called the Heaven of Beers, and somebody told me that it's worth it to go there. He's never seen that big a choice of beer, and it's not far actually. I should really go there and check that out. Bullfrog 89 KD2CXU, nice to have you on board from Albany, New York, and getting ready for school. It's that time of year again. Pretty crazy, eh? Pretty crazy. Mickey Dalmage, that Yuengling Lager is what you will enjoy in the hospitality room when you attend the upcoming Winterfest. Aha! Okay, Mickey. So you want to kind of drag me slowly by giving me hints here and there of the Winterfest. Oh, really? John Pickney says there's a beer in Utah called Polygamy Porter. Okay, that's kind of interesting. It is, Kimberly. It's more and more difficult to have couples that last that long. Brian Penny says, Angel, I see you have your Cape Cod Shark shirt on today. Yeah, with some surfing and water, and I'm ready to go to the beach. I like this shirt. I don't wear it enough, and I saw it when I was doing stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna wear this today. I like this shirt. It's very summer vacation-ish, you know, beach. I like it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Matambali, because there was a spider coming down the ceiling that actually stopped on the camera, and I was like, what the hell? And I was like, well, there's a spider. Do that web thing and get that fly or something. You know, make yourself useful. You know, if you're gonna be in my office, make yourself useful. Do something. Claudio La Musila, nice to have you on board, my friend Claudio. Yeah, a lot of sharks reported, even some really quite high north. I was reading a news item about a shark even in the Canadian Maritimes that was spotted. I'm gonna check something here. There's apparently S57DX, that guy from Slovenia, S57DX on 14237 apparently. Let's check it out if we can hear it. Usually he's a powerhouse. 14237. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, S57DX, that guy is a regular on 14237 upper sideband from Slovenia. If you guys are interested, there's a station in FT8 mode. 5 Papa 1 Kilo Zulu X-ray from Denmark. 14074. Austria, 14268.7 apparently. Let's check that out. 14268.7. I hear something weak. Some strong station on 14303.
Hotel Bravo Zulu. V3 Hotel Bravo Zulu. Grzegorz Nierba Karol Janina. Chyba Grzegorz mnie nie słyszy. A to jeszcze siódmy Quintrios, Katerza Papa, dzisiaj wyjątkowo słabo. Teraz wczoraj rozbierałem mocno, tak dzisiaj tą stację. Zbytek Syria bardzo mocno. I do tego na 5-7 Reggie.
14303, there's some station there, and I don't know what call is, but 20 meters is pretty active, pretty good today. Chris Freitas says the newest update provides better hope for West Florida. The track is projecting now to slide along the east coast instead of down the middle. Dorian will still impact the entire state, but better. Let's hope that it gets better for you guys, for sure. Bullfrog 89, Joe, don't know if you heard, but we're supposed to be able to see the northern lights across Great Lakes and New England. Let's check out the what the geomagnetic field looks like right now. So there's a geomagnetic storm warning. So what they say here is a solar wind stream heading for Earth could arrive as early as August 31st, that's tomorrow. NOAA forecasters say that 40% chance of a G2 class geomagnetic storm. So auroras could descend northern tier U.S. states, Minnesota, Michigan, Montana, and Washington during the Labor Day weekend. So that's something to look for. Here in Montreal, we need to have really strong geomagnetic storm. It needs to be like G3 or G4 class to really be possible. There's way too much lights over Montreal, but where it's dark, man, that darn fly. Where it's dark, you might see something, for sure. Take care, J.D. Williamson, 73. "45 real listeners on shortwave and 2 doesn't know who Alf is." Alf, man, that's from old days. Old days. Take care, PLF Radio. À la prochaine. À la prochaine. It is, you know what, Claudio Lamusila says 2 meters is not a big loss. It is. Every frequency range that is lost to other things than amateur radio is a loss. We got to be careful because, you know, I understand what you're saying. I'm not a big fan of 2 meters for the regular chit-chat stuff. But it's there, it exists, and at the same time, we gotta just remember one thing. It's that you know, they are allowed to chit chat to whatever they want. They have a license, and you know, if some of the people use amateur radio for that, I mean, listen to 80 meters at night. Half of the conversations are kind of boring. But, you know, guys talking over radio, and that's it. But there's a lot of other stuff in 2 meters. It is a loss. I mean, there's satellite stuff that is amazing in 2 meters. And there's all sorts of things. And it's not everybody that is just chit-chatting, you know, regular conversation stuff, you know. So, we gotta keep that. DE1 DJK, any idea when starts the new winter schedule for broadcasting? It's at the end of October. Last weekend of October is when the winter schedules will be will start. Technically October the 28th exactly. So October 28th. We still have 2 months to go before winter, or what's called the what will be called the the B 2019 schedules. Because right now we're at the A 2019 schedules. So end of October. Electricitap 220 band is going to be dead to allow DAB radio in the US. It's already been closed down, you know. Six meters is interesting. It's you know, even here 6 meters is not used a lot, honestly, but it is important to keep because it is an amazing band. When Sportic E-Skip gets strong enough, 6 meters is amazing. I mean, I've heard Brazil on 6 meters. And it's fun to tune around when the Sportic E, and actually when Sportic E-Skip happens, it actually comes alive, and 6 meter becomes very active during that period of time. So, you know, you got to be careful. Stephen Wood, Guinea on 9635. Nothing here on Cape Cod. Normally provides nice listening. Let's check out 9635. See if I hear or see something. I don't see even a trace of a signal there right now. There's some DRM 9610. Spain is really strong on 9690.
Esto creo que es un primer elemento, ¿no? Y una vez en el supermercado, lo que pasa es que, aunque fuera del supermercado, en casa, en mi sofá, escuchando vuestro programa, leyendo un artículo.
Greece is really good on 9420. Greece is very strong, 9420.
¿Cuál è il tuo lavoro alla scala? Cosa fa?
WRMI 9395, not bad at all. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Simon Templar and McGlone says second show will be good. Cool. Sean Pigney says low band VHF is comparatively useless commercially because of sporadic E and tropo propagation. Radioactive, nice to have you on board, my friend. Radioactive, so Joe is going to Florida this week. Yeah. Okay, Kimberly says, Larry and I have been married 29 years. That's good. Chris Prada, speaking of beer, I'm cracking open this K. Billy beer. But cheers, Chris. And Chris can also attest that Winterfest has plenty of younglings, aka tuning oil, in the hospitality room while shortwave listening. Cool. Max Headstrong getting ready to open some wine. Happy hour with Jill. That's always cool. Stephen Woods got Sam Adams Summer Ale. Cool, that sounds nice. Rufus Newt as Labatt Blue. Labatt Blue reminds me of concerts in the open air with in plastic glasses. I always hated Labatt Blue. Always. Bullfrog 89 has a Labatt also. Cool. Cool. Radioactive, what's on Wednesday? So starting September 11th, we will have a Wednesday show as well as a Friday show. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, or 0 UTC. Wednesdays, or UTC is Thursday, sorry, technically. But so Wednesday evenings we will have a live show at 8 p.m. Eastern, or 0 UT. And that we'll be trying out and see how different it is and what it brings in our shows. What else do we have? JDX says, I haven't seen the Northern Lights for a long time. Last time I saw them Southern Ontario in late summer 2006. Yeah, last time I've seen Northern Lights probably is in the year 2000s, early 2000s, somewhere there. Take care, DE1 DJK. It was nice to have you on board. John Pickney, W84D on 75 meters. I've not that I recall. Not that I recall, my friends. PageMaster, I have a question from the general question pool for ham radio. What is a geomagnetic storm? Answer: a temporary disturbance in Earth's magnetosphere. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, 6 meter FM. There's not a lot happening. I remember almost every time I've heard even local hams on 6 meters here, they were in single sideband. So you know. Hey, Fast Load. Nice to have you here. John Pickney heard Hawaii on 6 meters and we're California on 6 from Virginia. Absolutely. Take care, Tristan Pate. Nice to have you here. Have a great weekend. David Arden, yeah, 135, 34. I think I peaked at 138 at some point. Nice to have all of you here, of course. Radioactive listening to the Marine Net on 14300. They also have a lot of information, by the way, of what's happening with hurricanes and everything, 14300. Hey, there's a guy in Argentina on 14197. Let's check that out. 14197. Apparently Argentina's there. Let's check it out.
Excuse me, your coffee over? Well, I don't have it in my
Some guys on 14184. Meters is alive and well at this time. Imad Abbas, nice to have you on board. Bonjour from Algeria. Nice to have you here, my friend. Matambali has 9420. Voice of Greece, S9. Chris Freitas has Greece also, strong in Florida. Hey, Ernie Turner, nice to have you on board from Australia, VK3DET. Pretty cool. Fishkoff says, creating the culture of amateur radio with the young folk need more innovations like satellite images and text messaging can bring young people on board. Maybe free internet over AM radio one day. There's a lot of stuff that can happen, and I think we need to, continue on. I can tell you that. John Pickney says, imagine being in your master control and seeing your air monitor being unviewable because of a station 1200 miles away. Not fun explaining to a client why their spot couldn't be seen. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I did realize when I was posting the video, Dr. Sisop, about September 11th and what it means. WOHP 1390, my wife and I have been very happy 35 years. Cool. 46 out of 46 married. Not bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, that loop. Comparing your loop and my loop. I mean, that could be very interesting. We have Pirate Jeff Antonio, Pirate 6930. Let's check that out. Let's check that out. Pirate on 6930 apparently. And let's go to 6930. Upper sideband. Yep. There's some music. It's Never gonna give you up. Never gonna. That song that I can't stand. Playing on 6930. Thanks, Jeff Antonio, for letting us know. Yeah, 6930 is that annoying song. 6930 upper sideband pirate station being received. So pretty cool. Imad Abbas is receiving Voice of America 1530 kilohertz using an old Philips AE 24300. Cool. Cool. Bob T, do you think shortwave will make a comeback like vinyl records? Well, maybe not a comeback, but at least I think it's there to stay for a while. I think it is there to stay for a while. Rufus Newt, what a great gathering of people from all over the world as we all listen to the airwaves together. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pretty cool. David's, yeah, I got rickrolled on shortwave, absolutely. Jerry DX 6930 strong signal S9. Wow. Fishkoff. You know, Art Bell was kind of interesting because of all the different subjects, and it was kind of that thing that you'd listen to on a medium wave band. It was it was a specific time. It was kind of unique. Coast to coast AM. John Pickney, W6OBB, still missed. Yep. Yeah, I heard there's something about cassettes that people kind of like suddenly. John Pickney, about 8 tracks, the CB radio of hi-fi. I need to get that out. I've got the old Pioneer 8-track player here that I believe still works. So it's kind of interesting. Fastload ordered a RTL SDR from rtlsdr.org. Support the antenna natively. Can't wait to receive it. Cool. Gonna have a lot of fun playing with radio. Vector Sysop still got reel-to-reel. Cool. I got a friend of mine that has a reel-to-reel. I've always been amazed. By that. Reel-to-reel. Hey, a little self-promotion time here. Hey guys, you like what I do? Well, you know, I put a lot of effort in this, and you know, a couple of you got scared because not all of you know, but I've stopped promoting myself on every other platform because I got a ranting about me using some platforms for promotion of my live shows. Which is sad because I also got promoted back these places, so it was kind of, you know, like, yeah, I'll post something, you know, that I'll be live and everything about my live show stuff and the link, and at the same time all these platforms had a beautiful way here to you know, say, hey, you know, we exist and you can come to our platform. And I've been having a little bit of rants here and there in the past couple of weeks, and I don't know, yesterday morning probably woke up in a bad mood, probably worse mood than usual, and the first message that I got was, oh, you know, you don't post the pirate stuff on our wall in our you know, Facebook group, but you post all the time your live shows. And I said, fine, I won't post anymore. And I ended up, so, you know, it kind of came back at, well, you know, you know, kind of, you know, that's kind of weird that you act like that. And it's like, you know what, I don't need this anymore. So I did unsubscribe from a couple of Facebook groups. about shortwave, and I decided, you know what, let's fly on and move on your own way and my own way. I obviously don't need that anyways to promote my live shows. Not at the stage where I am now anymore. So it's important for everybody to know the times and days that I'm live, because of you know, they're always the same. So Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, starting September 11th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 0 UTC. And Friday, 2000 hours UTC, 20 hours UTC as usual. So if you just remember that, you can on the YouTube page, you can actually flag to get you know, click to get the notifications if you want. Just remember that. I think it's enough. But you know, I'm here all the time, and you know, there are times when, like this week with all the ranting, you feel like, you know, yeah, do I really need to do this? And you know, I still do it, and one of the big reasons I still do it because I love what I do. And you know, if you like what I do, if you enjoy having me around talking about radio, you know, you can send me a little something through PayPal, paypal.me/shortwave, or send it to the Yahoo email that I'm posting here. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/radio and computers and join 11 other patrons, giving me a little something every month. And you know, it's much appreciated. I'm here all the time, and you know, it's not always always easy, you know, and there's some ranting, and there's sometimes you don't feel like it. And you know, when I was half hour before I started the show here today, I was like, yeah, you know, maybe I should take a day off, you know, maybe I should just, you know, have a week or two. And actually yesterday I almost posted a you know, I'm going to start 2 shows a week on September 11th, and I almost posted, like, you know, I'm going to take 2 weeks off, no live shows. And you know, and of course I let the day pass, and you end up at the end of the day of, you know, I got to be there, you know, it's live stuff all the time. So you know, I'm here, and I'm happy to be here. This is the place where what I like and what I want is also, you know, great people that share their passion with radio, like I do, and that of course are happy to just, you know, have fun together. And that's the basics of this place. No ranting, or very little ranting, and you know, no you know, pinpointing whatever, or going nuts over whatever. Just being happy to talk about radio, tune the bands, have fun, and that's pretty much what we are at. So you know, I'm here all the time. It costs me you know, some money to run this operation. I mean, I'm gonna pay a higher bill of internet because of that. I gotta, you know, pay for lighting systems, and you know, I just changed the laptop for this particular reason. I could have kept my other laptop for a few years probably if it wasn't for the live shows. What pushed me into that laptop was the live shows, because yeah, the computer was getting old, and it was getting at its limits of, you know, being able to stream stuff in HD. And so, you know, part of this costs money. Yes, you'll say I got monetization off of YouTube. Absolutely, absolutely, that I won't deny. But you know, it's always welcome to have a little something, and whatever amount you give always helps. And I want to thank everybody that have donated. And you know, if you've never donated, why not think about a little something? You never know. You know, it's like I said, you know, remember, think about, you know, if this would not be here anymore, starting, you know, say this week I had enough, and it was just said, you know, the hell with it, I'm not doing this anymore. Would you miss this show? Would this not being here anymore be a, you know, something sad? Well, you know, sometimes you got to think about all of it. And you know, I'm happy to be here. That's the main reason driving me. It's not even the money. because money-wise, I mean, the other things I do with the other channels are way more interesting money-wise when you talk money. So obviously, I'm not doing this for the money at all. I'm doing this because I love and I have a passion for radio, for shortwave, and all of it. Mostly because that's the only driver. And you know, I come to this channel and I see you guys, and all of you guys happy to have me here and following me. And that's also something that's kind of cool and positive, because you're like, this is fun, you know. I mean, you guys are all here, and obviously, you know, even from before, I'm not even live yet, and I see you guys in the chat room chatting along, and you're like, wow, you know, people are waiting for me to be here, and we're dedicated, and I'm dedicated to this, and you know, we hope that this continues for a long time and have all of this operation. Thanks for your donations. If you never donated, why not? You know, a little something. Any amount helps, you know. You don't have to donate a really big amount. And thanks for supporting me. And it's always cool to be here, of course. Okay. What else do we have? What else do we have? What else do we have? Skateboarding 118. Wish there were more radio stations like Coast to Coast rather than all news and politics. You know, I like stuff that's all news. I think it's okay. I don't like that much stuff about politics, because politics is always a big, you know, always. I find politics a big waste of time in our modern era, because we aren't getting what we really want. So, you know, and I think this is the this is sad. But what was interesting with, you know, Coast to Coast was the diversity of subjects. I remember one night not being able to sleep and going crazy, and I turned on the radio, and out of I don't remember what frequency it was tuned to, but I remember hearing Coast to Coast, and they were talking about, you know, what if aliens were here and stuff like that, but in a way that is interesting. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist type guy, and if you talk about aliens, I like the conversation of you know, down to earth reality of our world. Not, oh yeah, they're here and they're disguised as humans and they're gonna take over the world. No. And I remember that night was super interesting. They had people that were really interesting about, you know, contacting aliens and civilizations in the universe, and it was amazing. And I remember I went from kind of ranting at not being able to sleep to I am definitely having fun listening to this. And Coast to Coast AM was fun for that diversity of things that would happen, that would be discussed. And I think that was kind of nice, and I think we need more of that and less of the, because today, you know, every time you tune, I tune the medium wave band regularly, and when I tune the medium wave band and hear all the US stations, and you come to realize that half of the US stations are talking of conspiracy theorist stuff, in that, you know, the government is against us and blah blah blah, and you're like, come on, there's more interesting and better things to talk about and be there on the radio stuff, honestly, you know. You know what, Bullfrog 89, I am since yesterday I am thinking of having my own Facebook group that will be this show only, meaning the Facebook group will be anybody that wants to join in that enjoys what I do here, and that would be another possibility of knowing when I'm live. I would post to the group, and you guys could share stuff on the group if you want about radio events. There's a big possibility by the September 11th Wednesday show there might be a Facebook group, but very different. It will be really oriented for the Shortwave channel and live shows from the Shortwave channel. So well, I'll keep you guys up to date, updated with this for sure. Hey B, nice to have you on board. Much respect, Jill, on your high subscribers live show. Nice to see you have the little rabbit keepsake of your sister. Yep, absolutely, right here. Really something special here. Take care, Tam. Miki Dalmich, 102.3 now, radio here in Edmonton, did a 1-hour listeners request show today playing nothing but vinyl. It was interesting how many producers it took to cue the discs and go through many LPs. Wow. Max says, trying, I think the fly's getting bigger. So, yeah. I'm not sure they teach how to queue up records anymore. Oh man. Christian Ferland, nice to have you on board, my friend. Oh God, Adam Bali. Buddy's grandson walked a fly and landed on his brand new TV with a baseball bat. That's a bad thing to do. John Pigney, I should charge a fly for airtime. Oh man. No problem, Fishkoff. Like I said, also, you know, I mean, if one of the things that I always mention here is the fact that you know, you don't have to give anything. Also, I mean, I understand that some people don't have the money to you know, to give anything, and that's quite all right. You know, once again, there's a lot of people telling me, well, you should you know, have paid shows for specific people and blah blah, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that type of thing happening. Sorry guys, I'm just checking out stuff. So okay, so anyways, you know, I don't want to have special shows for whoever, you know, has the money to pay, and that doesn't interest me. It's not the kind of thing I want, honestly. And I want to have this show always be something that is you know, free for everybody, and not have, you know, I don't like stuff that's like, oh, rich people can watch you, but people that have no money cannot. I don't like that stuff. Falstroth, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Welcome aboard, my friend. Where are you located? Always give us your location. Take care, Simon Templar. Once again, thank you very much, and sorry that you have to send that package again. So sorry. Radioactive says, yes, we would miss you. Yeah, I know, you know. I was talking with Sheldon Harvey through email because we were talking about different stuff, and that's what he was saying. It's like, you know, what would be very what we don't understand is the amount of people that actually watch our show and that would totally miss us if we weren't here. And it's true, totally true. And I know that if I wouldn't be here, I know there's a lot of people that would miss having this show and having, you know, a live moment where we're all radio geeks and have fun, for sure. Steve Eero, nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Radioactive is getting the Hawaii Widderfax on 16133.1. Let me check it out here. 16. So is the pirate station still there, by the way? I'm not hearing the pirate station anymore. 16133. Not getting anything there. I never heard a Hawaii one. What would you do if today was your last day? You mean doing the live shows, Bobby? Rennie Turner misses Paul the cat. He's in the living room. It's crazy. He's usually comes over and every time I talk, and he doesn't. The 2 shows in a row, he didn't come here. Jay Watterson 69, nice to have you on board. Bullfrog 89, although you may not see us face to face, many of us consider you a friend, not just a show. Yeah, I totally understand that. And, you know, it's the same on the other side. We were talking, I was talking with people about getting some of the stations. I need to check that out, 14100. I'm going to try to get the IARU thing here. I'm going to put the clock right. So set the clock just to make sure, and see if I can get oh, look at that, this is so cool. Let me just download this, and maybe we can see it in big full screen. So this is from PageMaster, is 13 Colonies certificate. So I'm going to try to show you guys this. You just send me that through the email. Just look at this. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Look at that, guys. Pretty nice. 13 colonies. Really cool stuff. Congratulations. It's always fun to have these rewards. Always fun. He received it yesterday. And it's his first regarding radio. Cool. This is a lot of fun. Honestly, this is fun. Really nice. So as I was saying, we're talking with friends, and I was mentioning how you know, you get to a point where there are people you see in the chat room that after a certain time you realize that they're not just you know, they're not just a viewer of the channel. You get to a point where you understand that some of you out there become friends over time, and it's the same on this side, honestly. And I think this is fun. And, you know, absolutely, this is a great place. This is a great place where a lot of great people share their passion, and this is fun. This is probably why all of this is great, also, and why I'm still here, honestly. Oh, a lot of the stations right here on 14100. So this is the IARU, something like IARU 14100 beacons, and Sync now. So the clock is synced. It's the International Beacon Project, ncdxf.org. So let me just put this here, because I'm gonna post a link here. ncdxf.org /beacons. So here's the beacon page. So what I'm listening in the background, if you guys have noticed, there's some Morse code. And this is a host of beacons around the world, and you'll see that there's a world map in there. And actually you can follow, I believe the world map is, I'm not sure if it's live or not, showing you which station is broadcasting. And so you know what station is on right now. And they broadcast on several frequencies. These are CW, so these are stations scattered around the world for propagation purposes. They broadcast on 14100, 18110, 21150, 24930, and 28200. I'm parked on 14100, and if you guys have noticed that in the background there was some Morse code, well, it comes from these stations that are scattered, and every 10 seconds it switches to another station. So right now 14100 is Israel, and as we move on, we'll move on to the next station and see what we can hear. Finland, OH2B right now, so we'll see which one we hear when they are on. So I'm hearing Madeira Island, CS3B, not very strong, but it was there. And I'm on 14100 CW here. Argentina, LU4, Peru. So some of them are off the air from what I see, but so this one, Venezuela, YV5B in Venezuela. Now it's New York for Yuan Yuan. VE8AT in Nunavut. I've never heard that one. So anyways, it's a, they cycle through W6WX in California, and it's fun to tune in and listen to these stations as they go through, and it gives you a great idea of propagation conditions, honestly. Yeah, politics, that's the worst. Bobby Burgess, anyone know how to make the Radio Wow R108 do AM PM time? I don't know, I need to check that out. Mr. Lucky Train, nice to have you on board. Yeah, Art Bell was a great entertainer for sure. You know, no wonder was there for so many years. No matter, you know, I can tell you that. Imad Abbas, XH Data D808 for 200 euros in Algeria. Wow, 200 euros in Algeria, that's way too expensive for an XH Data. Have CKUT ever think about putting the IR, the International Radar Report, on shortwave? So here's the deal with that. CKUT will never do that because they are too strapped for cash. You know, being a community university station, they don't have a lot of budget, and they won't have the budget for that. Where that would reach something, and I'm still not done with it. I did think of doing some kind of GoFundMe project that would bring a 1 hour a week show. Half hour would be me, and the other half hour could be the International Radio Report over, say, WRMI once a week or something like that. So that is something that I personally am thinking of. If we could find, partly funded also by the Shortwave channel here on YouTube, and see how it goes and what it do. It'd be interesting for sure. Red Hat Shortwave, nice to have you here, my friend. Red Hat Shortwave. Keegan has the International Report on his Part 15 AM radio station, which is cool. That's cool. Radioactive is having San Francisco air traffic control 11282. Max, that's wrong. We can't lose Jill, seriously. Hold on, Rekreb from Turkey. Nice to have you here, my friend. Oh, it's not on the camera, by the way, Radioactive. It's next to the camera. The camera is to the right. That sticker is a friend of mine. She's a waitress at Zoe. And one day she put a little sticker there, and I always kept it there. Because it was like... I think it was a day I was like, sad or something, and she put that little smiley sticker, and I said, you know what, I'll always keep it there, because when I look at it, it makes me smile and think that, you gotta smile sometimes in life, even when you don't want or don't feel like it. WF7I Homebrew, nice to have you on board from Virginia. Hooray for your new Wednesday show, much better for me. Cool. Great videos this week, thank you so much. Really nice to be here. Charity X Pirate on 6934. Let's check that out. 6934. Not hearing anything right now. Not hearing anything right now. There's something on. Let me just check. Yeah, that's some kind of Stanag or something on 6894 kilohertz. Fishkoff. Just wish the internet didn't have such a cruel effect like the disappearance of shortwave radio stations. You know what, Fishkoff? I don't think shortwave has that much to do with it. Honestly, what the internet has anything to do with it, because I think the internet is on the other side of things. It helps us. We've never had so many ways of knowing what's happening on the bands now, and no station that actually was on shortwave left to be an internet-only station and kind of successfully did it. Most of them realized that, oh, we had an audience on the internet, on shortwave. We don't really have much of an audience on the internet. I think it's, when we say that the internet is the reason why shortwave has disappeared, I think it's it's not at all that. What made shortwave disappear is budget cuts everywhere, less listeners. Stations were receiving less reception reports. It has nothing to do with the fact that internet was here. It has to do with the rising noise levels. Remember one thing: we are hardcore guys here. I mean, we are the tough crowd that stays and continues in our hobby, and the majority of people that listen to shortwave over time, the only thing they were listeners with little radios and the telescopic antenna, and they couldn't understand. I'm just gonna try something, guys. There's Malta on 14232.5 apparently. not hearing it here, but 14232.5 is Malta. Station 9 Hotel 5 Bravo Zulu. 9 Hotel 5 Bravo Zulu, 14232.5, and he's had a contact with a station K2 TRD, so not hearing anything here. But you know, that said, it's regular folks and stations seeing that there are less and less mail and less people listening. And honestly, the internet has very little to do with the drop of shortwave. Actually, remember before the internet ever arrived, shortwave was already in decline. We were already losing stations. It's just the natural curve of what was happening in the decline of shortwave radio. It started declining at some point in you know, in the late 80s, and even in the 80s itself, some stations started disappearing slowly. Honestly, you know. Max Estrong, think of it like a weekly party hosted by Shell. Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely, it's a it's a party. Christian Fella, 11253 USB strong weather service signal. That is 11253 is the Royal Air Force weather. I hear it very, very weak. Very, very weak. But it's the UK Royal Air Force weather. I'm actually getting it better on 5450. Hey, that's something we don't hear often. 5346.5, 5346.5. There's some hands talking.
Get me all the bands with the wire. And the other one, actually I'm putting up a vertical tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. The Hustler does 40.
Take care, Chris Freitas. Stay safe with the hurricane this weekend. And have fun playing your Nintendo Switch.
Those are my things. You can look me up on QRZ if you want to see the other stuff like that. Nothing fancy, you know, friends simple, but does the job, and I'm happy with it. So I wish I had a lot more cash to spread around and get some of these bigger radios, or more sophisticated radios, but you know what?
9955, Glenn Hauser. Let's see if we hear it well on my. Glenn Hauser's roller radio making it to about S7 peaks here, absolutely, which is nice because 9955 is actually broadcast towards Central South America, but yeah, it's thanks Bob T. Glenn Hauser's roller radio, always a nice listen. Roller radio is nice listening, honestly. Mr. Rogers of shortwave. Oh God, I'm the Mr. Rogers of shortwave. WF7I Homebrew, guess my SOTA post got deleted. Just thought y'all might be interested in my CW event from Mountaintop. Oh no, you oh, it might not be deleted. It might just be that you don't. You know what? I'm gonna add you as moderator status, WF7I Homebrew, and you'll be able to post. So no spam, no problem here. Just post, as long as it's radio related, and it's always welcome. Radioactive Jill will be the next BBC of shortwave. Oh man. Max Estron getting all sentimental. Good old days. You know. Yeah, analog receivers and stuff like that. Yeah, I got Windows 10 on this. I got Windows 10 everywhere. I do not have any computers left with Windows 7 here. The only other station computer I have that doesn't have Windows 10 has Elementary OS Linux distro, which is a 17-inch old Core 2 laptop. Everything else is at Windows 10 there. My new laptop, of course. This one that I just showed you with on the screen is an insider preview. It's actually a Windows 10 insider preview for 20H1, the next version of Windows next year. So I have a diversity of stuff. I like Windows 10. It works great here on all of my machines. I got nothing to say, honestly. Klaus, nice to have you here, Klaus, from the Bavaria border. It is after midnight, so the time for the show is a little stressed for an old man. But regards, nice to have you here all the time. All the time, Klaus. You're always welcome. Always welcome. How good is Elementary OS? What's nice about it is that it's very stripped down. And it actually runs really well for older computers. Take care, Bob. See you next week. It will be live next week in September. Just incredible when you think about it. Next show will be, of course, September 6th. Friday, September 6th. Amazing. So WF7i Homebrew. So to watch. Cool. We'll be on air Monday. Details will show up on that site. 2 watts or less transmit power from homemade kit radios. Wow. Pretty cool. Marvin Motts, I'm watching from the Japan Islands. Nice to have you here, Marvin. Pretty cool. Take care, Terry Cook. It's nice to have you on board. Got Christmas in 18 weeks. Red Hat Shortwave migrated most of my computers, various form of Linux about 5 years ago. Some of my machines look like Windows 7 when they killed Windows XP. Yeah, some of the XP machines. Well, it's like some of the Windows 7 machines. There are some older Windows 7 machines that don't like Windows 10 for sure. I'm building a radio museum and looking for a volunteer who can repair old tube radios and wants to live on the seashore. Okay. So you are watching the live shortwave show from Montreal, Canada. And any interesting stations? So S57DX is still down there from Slovenia. Let's try. Let's check out what's on the air right now. Oh, I'm getting gander weather. Look at that. 10051.
Wind 330 degrees,
10051. Let's do all the frequencies of gander and see if we can hear them. So 13270.
300 Zulu. Wind 320 degrees.
So I'm not hearing that one. 10051.
Broadcast of 2200 Zulu detail observation. 2 watt. Time 2200 Zulu.
6604. 6604.
2 clouds at 4,000. 2 clouds at 11,000. Ceiling 17,000 broken. Temperature 19.
And 3485. Wow, apart from 13270, I'm hearing all of the stations, all the frequencies. 3485. strongest is definitely 6604. Well, look at that. I just noticed that WBCQ
because I'm under restrictions.
WBCQ with Brother Stare on 3265. I have to rant a little bit about that. Last week, Alan Wiener, in his live show, was almost defending Brother Stare. Oh, we should forgive him. Hey, look, the guy's an old geezer that, tried things on some of their, sexual harassment stuff. So stop defending that old geezer. Come on. It made me mad. It was like, please. Max S. Strong. The Rumen Show is all about passion of mystery of radio. From electrical engineers to 6-year-olds, it's magical. Absolutely. We're here for that. Radioactive is here in Gander. 10051, weak but readable. C. Johnson. That's a clean waterfall. Nice to have you here. David, Gander on 10051, Upper Sideman, peaking S9 in Barcelona. Cool. But at least you're here at Keegan, even though you don't have sideband to listen to it. Tony Turtle, nice to have you here. Hey, VA2XMX Pedro, nice to have you on board, my friend. And happy long weekend to you too. Matambali cannot get Gander on any frequencies. Yeah, New York City Volmet is not there anymore. New York Radio, which was alternating with Gander Radio on all the frequencies, by the way, is now a thing of the past. They've shut down that station, actually. So it's sad to see this. Sad to see this. What do we have? C. Johnson, can't believe I'm missing Brother Stare Show. Q95 Oldies, nice to have you on board. Thank you very much. You should see Brother Stare's mugshot. Oh God. I guess he must, because John Pickney, because all the stations are almost running to get him on the air. But it's, I can't have a hard time with that. David in Barcelona, hearing a pirate on 6290. Shitty Pyro 90. Haven't heard anything about our Amigo Brothers Care lately. Well, we just had it. Hey, Madabas, good night. Fais attention à toi. Toujours bienvenue. John Pickney, broadcasting is a funny business. Perhaps the only one where the consumer doesn't directly provide the revenue. Yeah. VA2XMS Petro says, is anyone else facing issue with RFI due to the wireless electricity meters? You know what? I had read a lot about that, and I mean, you must have the same meters that we have here. If where I am sitting here, yeah, radioactive. That's what I was scared. I thought the fly was in my glass. You noticed. So, anyways, where I'm here, okay, the way this house. So there's 6 apartments in this house. Where I am here, I am actually sitting pretty much exactly over the electric meters from Hydro-Quebec that are in a small room just beneath this area. So here is pretty much just their electric meters. Now, I was wondering when they changed the meters from the old mechanical meters to the brand new wireless ones, because I've seen a lot of people complain about the noise. I can't say I've seen any difference. I really can't say I've seen any difference. So I don't know. Do you perceive some noise, some RFI since they've changed them, VA2XMX? So I'm kind of curious. And what are the frequencies you notice the noise most? Because I can't really say I've noticed more. Q oldies, that is, you know what TV is all about, including YouTube live shows, is you always show the clean side of your office. So this is the clean side. But if you would see what it looks like on that side, you would probably say, oh, now that looks like a regular shack, pretty much. And even there, on the back side there, it's like a big mess right now. So, you know, when you do stuff, you have that clean spot where you show everybody, look how beautiful this is. The rest is like full of piles of junk. So you got to be careful about what we show on TV. Oh, man. Why do they have blinking red lights on those meters? I don't know. I've never seen one, actually. I've never seen the ones here. I need to check that out. Well, I've seen some outside, but hey, there's a station 2 in Wales. 2W0LVE, wolf. Looks like a wolf. 2 wolf. 2 Whiskey 0 Lima Victor Echo. 14267. Let me check that out. 14267. I'm not hearing anything, but apparently in Wales. Let me just check if anything has changed here concerning pirates. 2230 pirate on 6950, and also one on 6925. 6950, 6950. Anything here? There's something really weak. Are you guys on 6900? I've got an AM signal. I've got a weak AM signal. I believe it's an AM signal. I got something weak on 6900. So 6925 and 6950, apparently some pirates also. Right now, shortwave, we do have some RFI that comes and goes, but I have yet nailed it down to the smart meters. C. Johnson, I've seen videos of people putting a Faraday cage, type cage over the meter and it works. Huh, kind of interesting. That shortwave, they do produce some disturbances in the power that makes my lights flicker and sometimes upsets a UPS. Really? Interesting. I've not noticed anything here, honestly. Tony Turtle finding a 222 megahertz signal in his frequency counter. Yeah, because they are just sending bursts of data. But still, even though they're not broadcasting all the time, they're still working because they're counting your electricity. It's splashing all across HF except for a portion of 40 meters. Huh. No Red Hat Shortwave because we don't have broadband over power line here in Montreal. It's not something that exists. Wow, that's kind of interesting. Mark Fisher, nice to have you on board from the south end of Illinois. A low pass inline. Yeah, maybe. Kind of interesting. Huh. Oh, really, Mackie Delmage? Do you get anything there? I get a kind of a carrier because I see it, but I can't really make out anything. It's been there all afternoon, not as strong here as it was an hour ago. Interesting. That's kind of weird. Ad blockers, extensions don't like AdBlock Plus don't block the fake text stuff. Red Hat Shortwave, all the meters here run on 900 megahertz ISM mesh network. Huh, kind of interesting. Radioactive, I'm glad that the FCC killed broadband power line, would have shut down HF listening. You know, there were so many things. There are so many things. So many things that I've seen. I remember reading a lot of articles of amateur radio operators. Yeah, 6950 is a pirate WF7i Omru. I got it very, very, very weak when I was there, but oh, maybe a little better now. Look at that. The trace is stronger, actually. Yeah. It's in the noise, but it's there. It's reggae music. And 6950 upper sideman. Now it's getting stronger. So pirate station on 6950, but it says un-ID here, so nobody knows yet on the underground, HF underground, what station that is. And by the way, this weekend is a holiday weekend, which means pirate radio activity will be probably stronger and more prevalent than usual. So check it out, because there's going to be a lot of pirate activity probably because of the 3-day weekend here in North America. So like I was saying, I've seen so many articles of amateur radio groups and amateur radio clubs that went to court. I know that in some places in the US, broadband over power line was blocked in many places, and even companies, power companies, even stopped because there was so much ham clubs going against them and saying, look, you can't do this, because apparently broadband over power line, it washes out the shortwave spectrum completely. Anyone apparently that is in an area where that happens, you just forget about radio. It doesn't exist anymore, which is crazy. John Pickney says BPL was tested near Manassas, Virginia, died quickly. Jeff Antonio, 6950, strong into East Central Ohio. Cool. S9 in Virginia. Keegan doesn't have it, maybe later. Yeah. 6950 coming in on AM, says Dr. Sisop. Mickey Dalmich says, should just hit the fan on the magnetometers I use in Sweden. This will be unsettled for us this far north. Really? So it's starting to, we're starting to see some effect of that disturbance. Let me just check something here. Solar ham. .net. They are predicting some. Some activity. Yeah, I'm looking here. I can see that as we're moving in close to August 31st. Hey man, come here. Everybody wants to see you. Paul is in the room. Paul is in the room. Come on, man. Everybody wants to see you. Come on. He's looking at me like, yeah, right. WLIS on 6950. Really? I haven't heard that station. We love interval signals in an amazing amount of time. Come on. Come here. He wants to come here, but he's got no spot, no place to jump. Here, let me just do this. Come on. Oh, he doesn't want to come. Come on. Okay, I'm just gonna show you guys where Paul the cat is. He doesn't wanna. Doesn't wanna. So I'm gonna do this. Look at this. Here's Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul. Sorry, guys. Oh God. Trying to. Here we go. Paul. Mr. Paul is here. There we go. Mr. Paul the cat. Wondering and looking. Mysterious. And now you can see all the junk on the other side. So, and the junk there too, with my beer case. There we go. So now you guys saw the junk and saw Paul the cat. Yeah, because WLIS, the original one, would play that. I loved the original one. We Love Interval Signals would play interval signals of shortwave stations, which was kind of really cool. Yeah, wood floors all over the house. A cat show, yep. We're gonna have a cat show now. Yeah, well, WF7I, WLIS was a pirate, but it's been such a long time since I've heard it, and they used to be great because they were officially the you know, they would play interval signals and stuff like that. David, yes, it's a floor standing speaker that I have the laptop sitting on. It's because I got the Fisher amplifier and everything that I need to reactivate there actually. And this is one of the two speakers from my old hi-fi system that I bought when I had my first job in 1989, my first full-time job. And so yeah, well, you know, I wanted to have the computer on something, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take the speaker and put the laptop on it. But I think this is not the same. I think that is not the same pirate. It's a different pirate, because WLIS did not sound like that at all, honestly. Bullfrog 89, have you tried that trick where you put down a rectangle of tape on the floor to see if Paul? He does. Anything that looks like it could stand in the middle of something, he is attracted to that. Okay? When you guys want to have fun, look at that. Okay? We're going to do an experiment here. We'll digress from shortwave for 2 seconds. I will take a sheet of paper. Okay? A sheet of paper. And we will, for a second, digress from our live show and look at Mr. Paul. So let's see how I can do this without breaking anything. And now I will leave. So let's hope that this leaf doesn't fall too far. Here we go. Here it is. And what does Mr. Paul do? He sits down on the sheet of paper. It's automatic. Da 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 da. So that was the demonstration of Mr. Paul pretty much doing what you just said. So if it would be a tape that I do kind of square or something, he would just sit smack in the middle. I don't know what's so important about it, but that is just crazy. It's just so funny. Every time that I just like, you know, let's put a sheet of paper and that's it. Oh, boxes. Dr. Sisop. Every time I get a box of something, he just is like, you know, I got a box of good food this week, which are recipes where you get the ingredients in the box, and I just opened the box, put all the stuff in the fridge, and I left the box there, and 10 minutes later I come back and I look, he's in the box, looking at me like meow. It's like, yeah, a box is irresistible for cats, I can tell you that. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Two primary uses for the internet: cat videos, arguing with complete strangers. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Oh man, it's just crazy. So on that note, I will repost the information here. If you like what I do, please think about a little donation. You know, think about the fact that Jill wouldn't be here ever again for some reason. Of course, donations is not just, you know, money, but you know, if you like what I do, please think of a little something. So paypal.me/shortwave, or just send it to the Yahoo email you see here. And of course, patreon.com, where you can join 11 other patrons. And Radio and Computers / Radio and Computers, patreon.com. And thanks for your donations. I hope you enjoy this, Oh yeah, Page Master, absolutely. There was a funny cartoon that somebody posted on Facebook. And the cartoon shows a dog and a cat. Yes, I did see it, Red Hat Shortwave. Thank you very much. And I did see, I did have little blinks on my, I was saying that some of you have sent me something today. Thanks for your donations, guys. Well, very welcome. So it's a dog and a cat that arrives to heaven. And so God asks the dog, what do you think is the best way to behave here? And the dog says, I will obey. I was always going to be here. I will always, help out, and you can always count on me. And God looks at the cat and says, and what do you think? And the cat answers, I think you're sitting in my chair. So anyways, that is pretty much what cats are and think. Absolutely, they are really, really, it's their own place, and it's just, the way they are. So hey, we did pretty much a 3-hour show today. Hope you enjoyed. Remember that starting September 11th, we will have a show that is starting Wednesday evening shows, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's 000 UTC. So starting September 11th, Wednesday show is added to the shows. So I hope that you're going to enjoy that. And we're trying to target North America and South America and maybe places where we haven't been really received well because of the time chosen. I know, I'm sorry for you guys in Europe that it's a little late, but it's experiments. We might try other little stuff there. So Wednesday, September 11th, we start that, and of course we keep the live shows on Friday, 20 UTC. So the next show is next Friday, and 20 UTC. And of course, hope that you enjoy. We'll be in September. This is crazy. This is crazy. And I hope that time flies. And I mean, it's just really, really nuts. Hopefully, with September and beautiful weather, I'm going to try to have a little more of the expeditions. I want to go to Perry Island next week, so hopefully everything will work. John Pickney, any chance of another VHF and above show? I will be looking at what we can do with that, because a lot of you have been asking me for that, and I know that it's something that you guys like. So let me think about it, and we're gonna check out the fly. I haven't seen the fly in a long time, and it's back. It's back. The fly. So I'll be thinking about it, and we'll see what we can do, and and go outside a little more. What made me kind of stay inside a lot this summer is the heat. I'm not a big fan of really hot days, and but with September is like that, in October, two of the months where usually weather isn't too bad, and it's kind of fun to be outside. So we're gonna have more outdoor videos for sure. And Dr. Sisop sends fly tape to Montreal. Hey, I got a natural fly eater, which is Paul the cat. He hasn't seen it because he would be running all over the place. So take care, my friends. Stay safe. Hey, we did 3 hours. I think it's fun, and it was a lot of fun, and went really fast. So tonight I'm gonna do some radio, and I gotta do the utility column for the messenger that I need to complete and send. Hope everybody enjoyed the show once again, It's always fun to be here, honestly. And it's always great to have you guys, because with you guys, shows are cool. You know, it's without you guys, there would be no show. I would be alone talking to myself. So take care, my friends. Stay safe, and radio on. Remember, pirates will probably be plenty of them this weekend. There's one on 6950 right now. So hope that you guys he is playing interval signals. He is playing Vatican radio interval signal right now. So 6950, we love interval signals apparently, is a pirate that's there. And WLIS apparently. So 6950. There's Mixed Radio International on 6880. Let's just check it out. Do I? I just had an ID WLIS. WLIS 6950. There's a un-ID pirate on 6955. Mixed Radio International on 6880 apparently. I just had ID of WLIS. Hey KC Red Dragon, take care. We're just signing off. But it was nice to see you for a few seconds. So listen to the pirates. There's lots of stuff happening. And I think it's going to be it's going to be fun. Yeah, David Arden. I'm not sure it's the original one, but well, I know that the Alinco DX-R8 is a pretty good receiver. So I've heard a lot of good from Alinco radios. Take care, my friends. Stay safe. And radio on. I will be cooking food. I don't know what to eat tonight. We'll see. Take care, my friends. Stay safe. See you next Friday, September 6th, 20 UTC. Bye-bye.